everyone, welcome back to Eternal Minute, and we are continuing Transformers Month, and now we're talking Dark of the Moon and Age of Extinction. So Chad, man, let's start us off. What do you think of Dark of the Moon?
Dark of the Moon is shit. Dark of the Moon is pure garbage. I hate this movie so much.
Is it your worst one out of all the five?
Yes, it's the worst one. After
Okay.
rewatching all of them, Dark of the Moon is the absolute worst. It's Shia at his absolute worst. Carly is a horrendous new addition to these films. The human villain played by Dempsey, terrible. Sentinel Prime is a fucking piece of shit. I hate everything about that character. This is the worst one. I mean, just what's your thoughts before we
get into the negatives, which I'm sure there are many, let's get into the positives of what we like. Number one, I did like the music.
That goes without saying. The music's good in all of these.
And what's the one positive you like, Chad?
John Malkovich.
He was funny. He was actually
That's it. He was awesome.
He
that
was
scene when Ken Jeong died, he was up.
He's like,
oh, that was the best scene of the whole movie.
yes, a workmate died, but looking out the window is not gonna bring him back. If Oliver Humpty Dumpty, like, damn, dude.
Get legal.
That's Jerry.
Come on, people, yes. A workmate died, but looking out the window is not going to bring him back. The man was depressed.
Don't take a picture.
You can keep watching him, but he's not getting up. You all read Humpty Dumpty, okay?
It's like, what an asshole.
Damn, what a dick. And then I was like, okay. There's one thing I like. As like, 12-year-old as I sound right now, I did like the final battle, as dumb as it was. You had like Decepticons like dying, and you had Optimus with his jet prime like shooting all these people. I was like, yeah, it's cool, but like doesn't save the movie. Because like there's like 2 hours of like filler.
Didn't Optimus also fly into a bunch of wires and get stuck for like half the battle upside down?
Yes, he did. That was
what a lazy way to keep Optimus Prime out of the final fight of the movie. He's so inept, he flew into a bunch of wires and got stuck.
Shockwave and his weird tentacle monster were cool, I guess.
Another Decepticon with a name that people recognize, thrown in for no reason and did nothing and died just like the rest of the gray blobs.
Oh my
Dude,
God.
Scorponok did more than he did.
Yeah, Scorponok did way more. In fact, I think Scorponok took more lives than he did.
Yeah, he did.
And then, okay, so, all right, so let's get into the negatives, and then let's get us over with, because I really don't know about anyone. Dark of the Moon.
Well, I mean, the negatives started right from the beginning. One of the first shots of the film is shoving a camera right in Carly's ass. It's like, it's like, really? We're still doing this?
Yeah,
we get it, Bae. Christ, she's hot, but grow up. She's not, unless maybe she did bang him on set. I don't know.
And then also the illogic is like, okay, so the Decepticons shoot down the Ark, and it drifts into space, and somehow, for some reason, out of all the planets it could have landed, it landed on Earth's moon. Like, how is it possible?
And they're like, they said earlier, they were like, they were supposed to rendezvous on Earth or something. And it's like, they got shot as they were taking off towards Earth. The slightest miscalculation would send you to the other side of the galaxy.
How the hell did it land on Earth? Like, because it's space.
And they even said, they were like, it was so stupid. You can just tell how shittily this film was written. It was like, they're like, remember they like, later in the movie, they're like, oh, look, you see these pictures of Decepticons dragging the pillars away from the crash site, and they purposely left Sentinel so he'd be found. But it's like, yeah, but that all happened long before Revenge of the Fallen, so they didn't have either the Allspark or the Matrix of Leadership to bring Sentinel Prime back to life. So what the hell did they leave him for anyways, if there was no way to bring him back regardless? See, it's just, this is why it's like, there's badly written films out there, shit like, like Troll 2 and like The Room, But it's like, when it comes to this, it's like, come on, you guys. You stop being so fucking inept at your storytelling.
We can
it's
do better,
really
guys. Come on, we
fucking
can do better.
irritating. God, like, how hard is it to keep continuity movie after? It's not. This is not the MCU where there's over 20 movies where they need to juggle continuity together. And I will definitely give Feige credit. They do a better job there than here of being like, okay, we did this. We have to look at and remember this. Here, they just don't give a damn. They just go, shut up, eat your popcorn, and watch the booms. And look at this girl's ass.
The thing, yeah, the Dark of the Moon. The thing is, it is what I realized when I was like, okay, when it's getting to the final battle, it really is 2 hours just to get to this big CGI fest, and that's it. Because okay, here's the credit where Transformers 1 and 2 gets. At least, even if it was, because if we're really looking at it, it's all the same plot. There's a mysterious object that the Autobots and the Decepticons are fighting for in all 5 of these, not just Dark of the Moon. In Transformers 1, it was the cube. 2 was the Matrix. 3, it's the pillars. 4, it's that seed. And 5, it's the Staff of Merlin. It's all the same, and Autobots and Decepticons are fighting it. And oh, surprise, surprise, it's on Earth. And guess what? Surprise, surprise. The Transformers, they've been here before. So I mean, credit where credit is due. At least 1 and 2, there was a mystery, because in Transformers 1 you had the mystery of, oh, what are the Transformers? Why are they here? Why can they turn? What are they looking for? There is something. Who has the cube? That was awesome. Number 2, it's like, okay, yeah, as badly written as it was, at least Revenge of the Fallen had that mystery of like, okay, where's the Matrix? Even though finding the Matrix never made any fucking sense, because they could use the all-spark shard to revive Optimus, but like, okay, yeah, where's the Matrix?
Well, and 2, yeah, but 2 also had, you just said it, 2 also had the positive of, shit, Optimus got killed. Like, yeah. Shit, we've lost Big Bop. We've lost the leader. This didn't... I mean, what was Sentinel Prime's bitch-ass betrayal supposed to be the big oh my god of the film? I mean, I guess it was, but it's like, fuck Sentinel Prime. I don't care that he made this deal with Megatron eons ago for this stupid thing. All he has to do is literally be like, I'm on a new planet. The Autobots have the advantage here. I don't need to betray them anymore. And either take it to his grave or explain, Optimus, I have to tell you about a sin I committed in the past. I teamed up with Megatron, but now that I'm where we are, I see what's going on. I see we have the edge. You understand this world. You know these humans better than me. Let's form a plot. We'll box in the Decepticons and we'll kill them once and for all. And then we can either stay here in peace or leave. But no, he brutally slaughters Ironhide in cold fucking blood, destroys the Autobots' base, runs off, attempts genocide on the fucking planet by bringing Cybertron through a black hole or some shit, which, by the way, if that had happened, our two planets would have fucking collided. The gravity alone would have sucked them together, destroyed. Then, after it stopped, is about to kill Optimus, Megatron gets involved and then he gets killed. And then Sentinel has the balls to beg for mercy? Man, fuck you, Sentinel Prime. Fuck you. Fuck that character.
I am so happy Optimus shot him twice. It's like, yeah.
He fucking deserved it. Man, remember when this came out and people were bitching about that? They're like, Optimus Prime murdered someone in cold blood. It's like,
no, he didn't.
Did you see what Sentinel did the whole movie? He deserved to die for what he did. He should have. Yeah. And this is Sentinel Prime. He's a Prime. He's supposed to be a warrior, and he goes out begging for his life? Fuck that.
I mean, this whole thing is like, it's really based on convenience. I mean, like, Sentinel conveniently, despite being on another world where the situation has drastically, like, okay, I understand Sentinel Prime making up Taco Megatron when he was at war in Cybertron. I do. Because the war was like, okay, it's too much. People are already dying on both sides. We can team up and we can save our planet. Fine. But then the Autobots are clearly winning in this Earth. The situation has changed. He's been asleep for 80 plus years. So So why the fuck would you still hold that deal?
It's
You had no reason
stupid.
to. You had no reason to hold that deal anymore. There was no reason to hold the Sentinel Prime to that. There was no reason to hold Megatron to that deal because
Megatron's head was half blown off. All he had to do was kill him.
yeah,
Didn't he just kill him?
yeah. Who's gonna lead Decepticon? Starscream? He's not gonna lead Decepticon.
Starscream died like a bitch too. He got his eyes ripped out by Sam of all people. Sam in this movie was at his absolute worst. We haven't even gotten to him yet.
I don't like. I respect that Michael Bay trying to give Sam an arc, but it's a really bad arc. He's
Arc in this film?
no like he okay. If you look at he was okay. If you look at the 3 movies he was in, Transformers 1, he's like, okay, I don't want to be in this war. Number 2, okay, I'm done with the war and I'm trying to live a normal life. And then number 3, I've accepted that I can't live a normal life and I'd rather be helping the Autobots, which is like, okay, yeah, that's fine. But it's never explained properly as to why. Like, he's just there. And he's the same guy. He's just still making this stuff up. And like, that's why honestly, I'm happy that that Mark Wahlberg took over at 4 because he had nothing left. He really had nothing left. He had nothing to do.
I mean, and Bay still had him doing the same shit. He still screamed all the time. I mean, he's okay. Yeah, he was willing to charge into Chicago, but it's like Shia LaBeouf just does not radiate. Look at this badass hero.
Also,
he doesn't.
Real quick, this is maybe just for me, but what I found like a slight positive in Dark of the Moon was like, at least John Turturro was back. I mean, I enjoy his character. He's
Alan Tudyk really helped elevate. Alan Tudyk was hilarious though. His his German bodyguard.
Yeah,
he was more entertaining.
And we didn't even speak about Frances McDormand. I mean,
she was the same as that CIA guy from Part 2.
Yeah,
this is the female version.
Yeah,
Autobots, we don't like you. Listen to us. Go away. You just repeated that arc twice. Good job.
And honestly, another positive. At least there was less time with Sam's parents.
Yeah, but they still didn't get killed. So.
No, okay. There was one scene I did like. I didn't mention this in my last review. There was one scene I actually did like Sam's parents. It was in Revenge of the Fallen. It was like this whole thing about and I think you know what I'm talking about. Where like the dad would say,
"You gotta let me go."
Yeah, you gotta let me go. And it's the mom who was like crying at the beginning. Like I don't want him to go, and like let him go, let him do his thing. We'll see him again. Credit you. That wasn't actually.
No, I agree. That scene was good, where the dad like finally had to admit it and was like, "Fine, but you come back to us." And it's like, yes, that. I think we brought it up. I don't remember, but if we didn't, I agree. That was when his parents were at. That scene was when they were at their like best of the whole. So it's like they were almost pointless in 1 because it almost feels like this little mini arc that they had is done.
Yeah, exactly. Like we didn't even get we didn't need to see them again in 3 because they completed that arc. They let Sam go. It's like, okay, yeah, come back to us.
They didn't do anything in this one.
Like here, like it's like they show up in a bus in cross country and they help Sam with his job bit, and then they have s'mores and then they fuck off. Okay, well, that's the end of it, I guess. I mean, like and like this whole thing. I mean, like I like the concept of the space bridge and like okay, but like you don't bring. You remember how in Man of Steel they said like, oh, the gravity is like it's like so fragile. And now you're gonna bring in half a planet that's bigger than the moon and Earth. That should have been like, okay, no, the world should have died. The gravity alone should have died. And even later, like holy shit, they destroy the planet. The black hole appears. Earth should have been sucked in. We should have.
And conveniently, when they did that, only the Decepticons got pulled away by the gravity in that.
That was so nice. Like, oh wow. It's the same.
That was such lazy writing.
It's the same dumb shit into where they kill the Decepticon. They revive Megatron, and then like, they bring up like, oh, there's 6 of them. No, there's 5.
That was bad. So let me see. Okay, so I'm gonna go on the character that I hate the most.
Yeah.
probably of this whole franchise, Carly.
She was pointless.
Fucking worthless character. And I don't care. All right. I get Megan Fox did something to piss off whatever. She said something to piss somebody off about Michael Bay. I don't know. She got fired, whatever. Why couldn't they have used that as like, okay, Sam killed Starscream. Why didn't they like use that as Starscream murdered Michaela or something in front of Sam in between movies? And so Sam has a reason to want to kill Starscream. Instead, they try to get us to believe that after the arc that those two had building up their relationship in 1 and 2,
Yeah.
Michaela broke up with him. She spent all of 2 telling Sam she loved him. And I get that high school relationships don't always last. I get it. But these kids went through like wars together. Sam died and she was like screaming her lungs out about how sad she was. And then she broke up with, so Sam met Carly right after 2 when he got his medal. Michaela had already broken up with him by that point. So what? She broke up with him a week after Egypt? Kidding me? What lazy ass writing. And yes, I will hold that against this film.
It is lazy. You know why? Because again, you could have solved it in one of two ways. Number one is what you mentioned, like have Starscream kill, Michaela in between movies and be like, oh, that's why he has a vendetta against Starscream. That could have been an awesome thing. But I think also because what really sucks is like the character of, no disrespect to the actress, because I've seen her in other stuff and she's okay, not great, but the way she's written is bad. Like she goes in, she sees Sam researching this conspiracy of why the Decepticons are killing humans, and you're like, well, I'm mad because you're not going to the party with me. It's like, God. Like you don't understand what's going on. You don't understand how these Autobots and Decepticons work, dude. You're upset that you're worried about that you're upset because Sam won't go to the party with you because you don't understand what the hell he's been doing for the past 2 movies. Like it's what I said off air. If you were gonna have Sam a different love interest, why couldn't you just bring the hot Australian girl back in 1? At least they have something in common. They've experienced Transformers, so they'll understand and they'll be like, okay, well, Michaela, you can write as Michaela broke up with me, and I couldn't date anyone else because they won't understand who I am because of the Transformers. Well then, shit. I met with Mag again. We had a couple of drinks. We're dating now. That's it.
Yeah. Or just leave him single. We didn't need the love interest.
Yeah, exactly.
At all. He could have just been, like I said, I think it would have been a much more powerful arc and story to give Sam. Michaela got killed, and now let's just say, even after what he went through in 1 and 2, let's just say watching Michaela get killed right in front of him by Starscream has given him some kind of like PTSD, and he's like now scared of like he's just freaked out by Transformers now, and especially Starscream. But he overcomes that fear when he's confronted by Starscream, and he manages to kill him, thus getting over his fears and getting revenge for Michaela's death. I don't get. I'm not angry that they're not using my idea. Maybe it's not the best, but it's like it's still better than what they did, which was absolutely laziness. Nothing. Here, grab another hot girl, throw her in. Oh, look, they're dating.
No, okay, but like that's what Michael Bay does. I mean, like, okay, no disrespect to him, but Michael Bay always likes to put hot girls in his movies, and like it's fine. A lot of directors do that, but the thing is,
5 is the only one where they put a hot chick in it, and they weren't like gratuitous about it, though.
Number 1? Oh yeah, 5. Yeah, 5. Yeah, because there weren't any sexy shots of her in 5, but we'll get to that. But yeah, I mean, like Carly, she really had no point because like it could have been a different girl. Like if you are so insistent of putting the hot girl in a Transformers movie, then use the Australian chick. Or if she doesn't come back, then say different actress. But it's the same character. Like you don't have like realistically. If Michaela broke up with Sam, like remember they said like, okay, well, Michaela and I are different. We discovered an alien race together, and and no one will ever have that in common. It's like, okay, yeah, true, but there was one other girl who did that. So theoretically, Sam could find some common ground with her. So why? I don't get it. I really don't.
I don't either. It's just fucking lazy writing where they're just like, oh, who cares? You guys are just here for the booms. It's like, no, we're not.
No, we're
We're
not.
here for what's supposed to be, and it's like, I hate that excuse. Oh, turn your brain off. No, I'm not gonna turn my brain off. Movies like this are capable of giving us a good story along with good action.
Yeah.
The first one proved it. The first one wasn't an Oscar-worthy film, but it had better writing than this.
Yeah. The first one wasn't like an Oscar film, but at least it had characters. So I mean, like, okay, that's the end of Dark of the Moon, because like I genuinely don't want to talk about it more.
I've really got nothing. I don't. It literally took me like 3 goes to get through it. I don't enjoy it. I really don't. I will I'm honestly never gonna watch it again.
Yeah, I understand.
There's no point. There's no reason. I mean, it's just I didn't enjoy it. There's nothing fun about this movie. Like I said, I mean, and we didn't even bring up the awful humor. Ken Jeong ripping his pants off. My name is Deep Wang. It's like, come on, like you're fucking lowbrow.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you're catering to the base caveman humor. Like, oh, dick jokes. And it's like, well, that's honestly the same complaint I have with WandaVision. Like, why do you have to make him Ralph Boner? Like, come on, dude. I mean, like, let's not.
I still can't believe that was like the only. How weird is it that was the only point of that whole show where I was like, why was that there?
Yeah, because like, it was so creative.
How weird.
It was so creative until, and it stops at that point and then continues like, okay, what the fuck? It took me out of the movie. Like, like, okay, but same with this. I'm Wang, Deep Wang, Deep Throat. Like, what the fuck?
So stupid. Like, we're laughing now, but it's like, it ripped me out of the movie when I was watching. And I was like, really? We needed a scene where an Asian man is taking his clothes off with a guy in a stall? Come on. Yeah, and then it's like, I guess Patrick Dempsey, I got, what was his name? Dylan or whatever?
Yeah,
he was stupid. Why didn't he just run away?
Again, like Central Park, he had no reason to turn bad. It would make more sense if they were threatening his family or something. But no, there's no.
They weren't. And then like that, the Decepticons are clearly losing, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna get the bridge started again." Why? Why? Who the hell are you?
Okay. All right, I'm done.
Okay. Dark of the Moon, done. Over with it. What next?
Now we're moving on to a movie where when I first watched it, I hated it, but now as I rewatched, I mean, like it's not as bad as I remember, and it has its good qualities. I think it's underrated. Transformers: Age of Extinction. So, what are your thoughts on Age of Extinction, Chad? Do you like it? Do you hate it?
So Age of Extinction, I remember seeing the trailers, and I'm like, oh God, here we go again. And I see it, I'm like, no Shia LaBeouf. I'm seeing Mark Wahlberg. Okay, good. I was like, we're already doing better. And it's just like, I see the Dinobots. I'm like, I guarantee. Even before the movie came out, I was like, I guarantee they're barely going to be in the fucking film. But I also saw Optimus's new design in the trailer, and I was like, they're doing something different. I was like, they have to be. And while yes, it's still obviously, because at first I wasn't sure if this was even like a reboot or like restarting or something.
Yeah.
And then I saw it. I'm like, okay, they're referencing Remember Chicago, and it's like we'll get into more of the plot as we go on. But I'll just always remember I saw this in theaters, and we hit the point where they're just like, we're heading to China. And I'll just always remember I was like watching it in theaters, and I was like laying there, and as soon as they do, we're heading to China, I audibly let out a groan. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, here's another 45 minutes minimum. And it was like, I just wanted it done. This movie came out in the summer. I was like, I want to go outside.
I swear.
It's long. It's like almost 3 hours.
Age of Extinction was way too long. That's my main complaint with Age of Extinction. It's the fucking length of this movie. Okay, but before we get into negatives, because the negatives are few and far between. For a Transformers movie, for an action movie, there are a lot, but for a Transformers movie, they're few and far between. Let's go to what I liked, and that's what we like. Number one, Lockdown, badass. I loved him. He was.
And you know what? Kelsey Grammer, CIA agent, his second in command. Who was that? Who was his second in command?
Titus Fisher.
Yeah, whatever. His second in command, the field agent guy.
Yeah,
those were actually good human villains.
Yes, I did like it.
Tucci, he was a good human villain as well. He actually had an arc. I wasn't expecting that.
Stanley Tucci was awesome in this movie. He was funny to watch, and I was like, okay, I like what I do like was I like the world building. I like the concept. Okay, so it does make sense that the fact that after Chicago, the states and the U.S. lost in faith in the Transformers, so they hunted them down, killed them, and now they're on the run because yes, that's how humans would react after like 3 fucking invasions. 3. So
especially after Sentinel betrayed them. The government would probably be like, we have no reason to trust the rest of these guys that they're gonna not betray us either.
Yeah, exactly. So that does.
But watching Ratchet get killed, that was tough to watch too. Though I mean, he got slaughtered.
He was begging for his life. I was like, that's.
He got his spark ripped out of him by Lockdown.
Yeah.
What a way to go.
Yeah, it's like I can't. Lockdown was an awesome like Decepticon because Lockdown's not even a Decepticon because he said I'm not a Decepticon and I'm not about either. I'm a bounty hunter. Like I don't give a shit about your war. Like that's cool. I mean again the character of Cade. I like the character of Cade infinitely better than Sam because he's a father. He's like I'm trying to make ends meet in this messed up world of Transformers and I'm trying to figure out I'm trying to support my daughter. I'm trying to support my friend and then they're thrust into a world of chaos, which okay, fine, but at least Mark Wahlberg was a more competent protagonist. I didn't hate his guts. He was great. I loved him. I mean, he wasn't great. He wasn't a great character, but at least he was more enjoyable to watch. Does that make sense?
No, I get what you're saying. He compared to Sam, he's light years better, but I mean, he's no Aragorn from Lord of the Rings or anything. He's no Tony Stark.
He's no Luke Skywalker from Return of the Jedi, and he's not like that. He's good for a Transformers movie. That's what I'm trying to say. He's good for a Transformers movie, which is fine. I mean, at least it shows that okay, Michael Bay, you're taking notes and you're improving. That's what I gotta give Michael Bay credit for. At least unlike other directors who say, oh, it's my artistic vision and I don't care what the fans want. I'm gonna subvert expectations. I don't give a shit. At least Michael Bay is okay, I'm taking notes of what people don't like. Okay, so people don't like Sam, no more Sam. People don't like the way I do villains. Okay, here's a new one. I'm gonna write a different one. At least he's trying. I mean, effort, my friends. Effort is what I like to see. I mean, you can make a bad movie fun, but at least if you put effort into it and you have I will enjoy it. I will hate it if it's you put zero effort and you're well, it's my artistic vision. I don't give a shit. Other directors, but at least Michael Bay. That's what I give him credit for. At least he puts effort into his films. As bad as they are, as bad as some of they are, at least there's effort in Age of Extinction. I can see that.
And the Transformers being here long ago, 65 million years ago, at least that makes a little more sense. We don't know how many planets Lockdown went to shoot the seeds to turn life beings into the metal to make the Transformers. He could have gone to hundreds of thousands of planets doing that. So I almost don't view that as the same as the Fallen happened to be here. Sentinel happened to crash on the moon. Yeah. The Talisman and the Knights happened to come to Earth during the Dark Ages. Yeah. That's all bullshit. This is the only one to me that kind of makes sense. And I guess the cube the cube made sense also back when it was supposed to be the first time they all came to Earth, and then they've been here forever, I guess, and then 5 ruins that even more.
Yeah, it's weird continuity. But the whole point of it is, at least in terms of like storytelling, Michael Bay tried. He listened to his fans. Like, okay, no more Sam, no more Carly, no more military guys, new characters, new story, and only Optimus and Bumblebee will carry over, and Megatron eventually. And that's it. And like, okay, yeah, cool. I mean, like, it's awesome. I appreciate that. And going into the okay, so and then going into the negatives of it, my main negative is, okay, number one, the length, as I mentioned, the length is too much. There's
way too long.
You can literally shave down at least 30 minutes of runtime. The humor is kind of cringe sometimes. I get that stupid Romeo and Juliet.
For the first half, I'd say the humor is cringe. But again, just having rewatched it, I barely saw any humor in the second half that made me cringe. The only humor in this that really got me going was that stupid Romeo Juliet Texas law. Why did it's almost like Michael Bay was like promoting pedophilia almost.
No, it's like Michael Bay saying like, okay, this girl's so barely legal in some states, she's actually illegal. So we're gonna have like this guy explain it for 5 fucking minutes why it's okay to be.
Was so dumb. Like that, shave that off, Bay. It's not funny. It didn't add to the story at all. Thank you for wasting our time.
And then another thing. I hate the Transformium. Transformium is dumb, and it shouldn't be in the fucking movie because they're characters who transform, not characters who turn into cubes. And then I hated that. Like, oh wow, just saw the whole point of fucking Transformers because we're supposed to see them transform from vehicle to car. So what the fuck?
Yeah, that was just. But I will give it. So, all right. So, I stand by this. Okay, so I still don't like Galvatron's face, but I did think his body structure was pretty cool. I like the colors they went with, and I liked the big like reactor he had in his chest. And I did like that scene where Optimus like stabbed him right through it, and he's like, "You have no soul." And he was just like, "You're damn right I don't."
Yeah. That is why I have no fear. Like, oh shit, dude, holy shit. I mean, like, I like that. I like that. But then it's like, this is why I appreciate the fact that, okay, I see effort put into this film. It's not like Dark of the Moon where like, okay, convenience, final battle, enjoy the movie. Like, yeah, it's like, now there's evidence of like, at least, man, you're trying, which is awesome. And then, I can't believe I'm saying that to Michael Bay. Like, man, at least you're trying.
Yeah.
But then,
but it's like, where's the Michael Bay of old where's the Michael Bay who made Bad Boys and Armageddon? It's like, okay, I mean, and like Pearl Harbor, and it's like, I know I'm in the minority. I enjoy Pearl Harbor. I know everyone else doesn't, but it's like, those at least, okay, good, brothers in arms. But it's like, what happened to the storytelling he enjoyed doing when he was making those movies? Like, what, or even Pain and Gain. That's another one. I like Pain and Gain. I don't know if you've seen it.
I like Pain and Gain.
Yeah, Pain and Gain was cool. It's like, why doesn't he bring some of that with him to the Transformers series? Or is he just so lazy that he's just like, blow things up, it'll be fine? But like we said, I don't even understand why he changed things up so radically from the Dark of the Moon feel to this, when it was like Dark of the Moon made more than Revenge of the Fallen, so it was like numbers were still going up. Why did he deviate from that formula? People were still liking it because it's like anyone could. If you didn't tell me Michael Bay made this one, I almost would have felt like it feels like somebody else made this, because it even looks different than Dark of the Moon.
No, because you know why? Because there's effort. again, I'll put it back. Michael Bay put effort into this. It's like, okay, you're trying. The whole thing is, the thing is, he falls back to like his old self in some places. Like for example, that stupid fucking Bud Light where Michael Bay Bud Light. Dude, why do you do that? Like we're not gorillas.
Yeah.
We're not catering to the base humor of he drank.
And people give Man of Steel shit. People say Man of Steel is shit for its product placement. Fuck you. He flashed a Bud Light can right at the camera and ripped it open and slammed it.
Like we're not gorillas.
That was just as shameless.
Like as much as I like Michael Bay trying, like dude, there's stuff like, okay, one, you don't have to fucking do that whole Bud Light thing. Number two, you don't need an ass shot of a near barely legal girl with her legs and like, oh yeah, the legs are the shorts are there.
And they kept. How many times did they comment on how short her shorts were?
Yeah, I was like, dude, like we're not girls. Like, okay, yeah,
Just stop.
We get it, she's hot, but
You don't need the camera in her ass to prove she's hot.
I hate that. I hated that. I really hated that. So yeah, it's like, dude, you don't have to cater to our base caveman instincts of like, oh, hot girl must we see her legs. Like, come on. Like, treat your audience better like that. Like, okay, at least even if you're trying, you still fall in that base like shit. Like, I understand. I really don't.
I mean, Tessa wasn't anything special, but she was better than Carly, but she wasn't up to the competence of Michaela.
Yeah.
But it's like, so I want to talk Stanley Tucci for a second because I genuinely enjoyed his character. He started out as a fucking asshole, but that scene when he realized what the seed could do, when he was like, okay, I can't do this. He's like, they're right. This is going to fuck things up.
Yeah.
And then he worked to help to get them out of there. It was like, and he willingly gave up the seed. And at the end, when Cade was like, let's go home, and Tessa's like, we don't have a home. And she was like, he's like, you're fine. He's like, I've got you guys. Don't worry. I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. There's an arc for a villain. Like, holy shit. He's not like Patrick Dempsey, like, I'm bad because I'm bad. And I'll villain. Like
it wasn't very even, I'd say, with him, but at least it was there. It was better than nothing.
Yeah.
When we're talking about these films, we're not talking about complex characters like we'd see him like The Godfather or something.
Yeah,
we're talking about the best the Transformers franchise has to offer, which isn't a lot, because these movies are made to just, at least the second four are made of just watch boom and say yay. I mean, so it's like to see any form of effort put into the characters is appreciated.
Yeah, exactly. To see effort put into the characters is appreciated, which is why I said at least Michael Bay is putting effort. And then, and I'm gotta admit, even if I sound like 12 years old again, I mean, like the final battle with the Dinobots and Hound throwing the grenades.
Still awesome.
Sick. That was sick. I was like, okay, that was awesome. I'll give it that. At least it was cool to see the Dino, to have Grimlock breathe fire and Optimus ride him like a metal knight and kill all the Decepticons. Yes. Okay.
And I loved hearing that scene when Hound was about to get, like, it was like Hound and Cade, and they were like the only two because Optimus, the Dinobots, and the other two hadn't gotten to the battle yet. And then when it's like you hear it, it's like the battle's losing, and you hear Hound say it. He's like, I'm out of bullets, and he's like, I'm out of ammo, and I'm out of ideas, Cade. It's like, shit, Optimus, hurry, get there. Shit, they're gonna fuck. I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I thought Hound was gonna get killed. I actually was like, shit, I like this character. I don't want to see him die. Yeah. I actually like. I'm not gonna lie, this was my favorite group of Autobots.
Yes. I like, because one, they all look different. Like again, effort in the designs. Okay, mm-hmm. There are still gray blobs of like, okay, yeah, there's still gray blobs. But at least they look different. Okay, Crosshairs is green, Drift's like a samurai, Hound's a bit, fat. Optimus and Bumblebee, they look okay. Like, yes, okay. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I genuinely think I genuinely think this is I think this movie is I always see this one so low on people's lists, and I always see 3 above it. I do never understand how people say maybe it's the length. I think that's part of the problem is this movie is too long, and that's what rips people out of it. I think
you
it's
could
the
have
length.
shaved so much. Again, that's the main problem. It's the length. It's too long. You could have really shaved like a bunch. Like you could have shaved like the opening. Like you could have shaved that. You didn't have to like
Having the frozen dinosaur found at the Arctic, that was like that blonde chick.
yeah.
Whole character could have just been written out of this film. She didn't do anything to contribute to the story.
Exactly. Nothing to contribute. Nothing to give. That's why I again that's why like as much as I like the effort, there's still like blind spots of like okay that could have been cut out, that could have been improved. You didn't need to do that humor, Michael Bay. Like you didn't need, so yeah. That was Age of Extinction. I mean, like anything else that you want to talk about?
Basically, with Age of Extinction, what is a shame about it is it's like it almost felt like Age of Extinction was like progression, where they were like trying to be like, all right, let's try something new, because like that, Optimus has a new design, which is fucking awesome. I don't care what anyone says. This is my favorite Optimus Prime design, and it felt like they were trying something new, trying to be like, let's ditch that shit humor from 1, 2, and 3. Let's try something new. And then it's like with the next one, Bay couldn't decide if he wanted to continue on with this style or go back to the old bullshit.
Yeah.
But it's like we will get to that next week. But yeah, I think Age of Extinction is not as bad as people say it is. I think it's just the length that really gets to people.
Yeah, exactly. So that was Age of Extinction. And that
What's
was
your closing thoughts?
my closing thoughts on that. Age of Extinction, Dark of the Moon. I liked it a lot before, but then now as I rewatch, it's like okay, it's not as good. Age of Extinction honestly got better, and I again, like I said, I appreciate effort where there's effort. So, credit where credit is due. Michael Bay did have that effort. So, hopefully, they'll hopefully that he learns, and even if he continues making movies, I hope that he understands. Like, dude, this is not we're not apes. We can like good humor and great characters. We don't have to make boom 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 boom. Yeah. So
Exactly.
this is Santino and Chad, and next week we'll be talking The Last Night and Bumblebee.
Wow.
So,
Mirror opposites of each other.
very, very, very mirror opposites of each other. All right. We're signing off now. Have a great week, everyone.
Adios.